Hi everyone, it's Rachel Kleinman from rwcrafts.com. I'm sharing an underwater themed mixed media ATC with you all today. I have already cut my ATC and those sea creature fancy dies from watercolor paper. And now I'm starting with this petal burst stencil. You can really use any stencil for this. And you see I put Pool Party reactive ink directly on the stencil. I sprayed it with water and I put my ATC right on top. So that gives a really cool watercolor effect there, you saw. I did dry that with my heat tool. I lined the stencil back on top so that it matched what I had done before. And now I'm just inking this up with a Splash reactive ink. So the first one was Pool Party, and now this is Splash ink that I've blended on top. You see there. And to give a little more dimension to this background, I will be heat embossing this ATC. So you see I put embossing ink on this celebration bubble background stamp, and I'm just pressing the ATC right on top. Since it's a mixed media project, it doesn't have to be perfect, so it's okay to just throw it on top and see what you get. So now I'm putting white embossing powder on top. And you see that the ink blending from the splash ink wasn't totally dry, so it picked up some of that white powder. I'm totally fine with that. It doesn't matter. It's really just for the background effect, and it makes it look more oceany and bubbly and foamy, so I kept it. I don't mind. And I did heat emboss that with my heat gun. And now I'm just going around the edges. That is with Deep Ocean. Deep Ocean is not a reactive ink. I do not want that to react to any water that I might add later. So I just rounded out the edges you see there. Now I will be watercoloring some of these die cuts that I have. So I'm starting with Key Lime Fizz, that's the lighter green, and then I'm adding in just little dabs of green apple. It doesn't have to be perfect. The watercoloring will take care of itself. And now for this jellyfish, I'm coloring it with taffy. And then I will go and blend some shading with a berry smoothie color. These reactive inks are so wonderful to create with because they are water reactive, and I'm sure that's why they called them reactive inks. So you can really use them for all sorts of blending and water techniques, and like you see I'm doing now, just watercoloring. This little crab is getting colored with Fruit Punch reactive ink. And I wanted to show you how you can blend with the same color. So I heat set it with my heat tool. And now I'm just going over his legs and his claws with the exact same color. But you see that it's darker. So by drying in between each time, then you can build these layers as you go. And I'm just finishing off the starfish and those seashells with Lemon Drop is the yellow and Creamsicle is the orange. And you know I have to add glitter paste, you guys. I just have to. I really cannot live without it. So I'm really just coating this whole thing with glitter paste. And then you see I just scrape up what's on my glass mat and I'll do the next one. So I go through and I add at least some amount of glitter paste to every single one of those watercolored pieces that I painted. And they are all dry, so I did give them time to dry in between. And you don't have to color the whole thing. You see here I'm just almost using it as like a shading technique to just color parts of it. By color, I mean put glitter paste on top. And now I wanted to create like a foamy ocean floor or a wave. I don't really know. I just felt like I needed something here at the bottom. So I'm using white Hero Arts paste. This is just their plain white paste. And I'm really caking on a layer. And you see that I'm not making it smooth. I'm actually pulling the paste up so that it looks more wavy and bumpy and not nice and neat and controlled. And while that paste is still wet, I am putting on iridescent blue powder. Their iridescent line is so gorgeous with their other mixed media pastes. You can really mix and match these things to get a great outcome. So I put the powder on top, and again, it is still wet. So I'm going over it with my heat embossing gun, and you will hear it kind of crackle since the paste is still wet, but look at the sheen that you get. It's so beautiful. So the paste is mostly dry, but not completely. So I'm going to make sure that I don't press anything too heavy on top of that to flatten it out. And right now I'm just kind of arranging to see the layout that I want. And again, all of these pieces with the glitter paste have now dried. Gosh, I really, really love the shine on that little foamy water down there. So I have glued all of these pieces on. You see that's the arrangement I decided to go with. The jellyfish wasn't quite staying down, so that's why you see the acrylic block on top. I really like the sentiment, "Stay salty." This is from the new Nautical Messages Hero Arts stamp set. And I'm stamping that in Deep Ocean. Again, that's the same color that I blended around the edges. So I'm stamping the "Stay Salty" in Deep Ocean, and I'm using the very smallest piece from the Rounded Rectangles Infinity die to cut that out. And I'm using my Hero Arts compact cutter, you see there, very handy to have. And I'm just inking around the edges in Pool Party. That's one of the colors we used earlier to help everything blend together. And I will just add that with some foam adhesive directly onto my ATC. Stay salty, everyone. It's okay to be salty. You don't have to be nice all the time. I hope you enjoyed watching this ATC come together, and I hope you're enjoying your summer. Thanks so much for stopping by. All the supplies used are linked in the description below. Thank you all. Bye.